Hey guys, it's time to use our influence to get a whale.
What do you mean?
So, remember how, with the Dame trade, the Boston media used their influence to shift the public opinion on what the Heat trade package was?
Yeah, won him a championship. Well aware.
That's exactly right. And you remember how, on this show, we spent a month influencing the public opinion on head-to-head and why Miami should be in the playoff.
Thank God for that, by the way, Mike. Thank you.
You're welcome. Got them.
Everything that I do for the program is for you.
That show was awesome.
That's right, and we got them into the playoff.
To the championship game. I'm so glad you can admit this now.
By shifting public opinion.
Yes, it worked. Yeah.
It worked.
It's been an exhausting couple months, but hey, thank you for the credit, pal.
Of course. So now what needs to happen is we need to do the same thing here with Giannis Antetokounmpo. There was too much saying, oh, Spo doesn't play Khalil Ware enough. Why would Milwaukee want Khalil Ware? Dan trying to pretend like Tyler Hero is the centerpiece of this trade package.
Yeah, what was that about?
Hyping up all these first-round picks. Oh, Golden State has the best offer. Golden State's offer is garbage.
Sucks.
We know it. Everyone knows it.
It's a bad offer.
But guess what's happening?
Buffer.
Over at ESPN, because they want the narrative
What they say?
of Giannis and Steph together. It's, oh my God, look how great this is. They've got Bobby Marks out there doing mock trades with Jimmy Butler included. Even though Golden State has said they're not going to include Jimmy Butler. Why? Because they want the public perception for Bucks fans and NBA fans at large to be that this trade is the only one available when it's not the best trade.
It's a crap trade.
Is the Heat trade.
It's a psyop.
And so we, right here with the Dan Le Batard Show, we can use our influence to change the public perception over the next 24 hours, the next 48 hours, and land ourselves Giannis Antetokounmpo.
It just goes to show you how legacy media does.
That's right.
Basketball, basketball, basketball.
Basketball is back, Jack. Time for our favorite winter sport. The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-off. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say,
Basketball, basketball, basketball.
basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and rolls. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots. A dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back. Basketball is back, Jack.
A lot to get to nationally and locally. Greg Cody just did something he never does. He turned his computer to me dramatically. He touched me on the elbow and he showed me a news story. What does that news story read, Greg Cody?
Breaking news. Sources, Kraft not selected for Hall of Fame class of 26. That would be Robert Kraft, who everybody thought worked behind the scenes to make sure Belichick wouldn't get in so he could have the stage without Belichick.
Well, he may have still done that because how bad would it look if Belichick got in and he didn't?
That's fair. That's fair. But the assumption, I think, was that Belichick would not, and Kraft would.
The assumption was that Kraft wanted it all to himself, so I'll do it this year and get Belichick out this year.
Yeah.
Now.
So how'd that work for you, Robert?
I don't know how you don't put that guy in the Hall of Fame. He's going for his 7th title, 11 Super Bowls, 3 quarterbacks, 3 coaches. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Of course he's a Hall of Famer. But let's move on to some of the local things, and we'll get back to that because we got James Harden evidently about to make a mess or already has made a mess, and he's going to be traded. That happens overnight when the Clippers, we said just yesterday, they're playing well, and they get smoked by the Sixers. And Kawhi's got these quotes on James Harden. It's a surprise. Respect his decision, or whoever's decision it is. That's still going to be my boy. Trust the front office, he says. None of those people are going to be there anymore. Ballmer screwed all of that up, and there's a conspiracy theory that they're keeping Kawhi out of the All-Star game because of all of Pablo's reporting. Put that off to the side. Put everything you guys did with the Miami Heat last night. You went to their gala. Shaq's mad at me. Shaq did something funny to Chris Cody that we'll get to in a second. But the thing I have to start with, because I haven't felt quite this way since Barkov's injury, but I will say the worst I have felt in 2.5 years of watching Panthers hockey is hearing this quote come out of the mouth of this player, Matthew Tkachuk, after they lost at home to Buffalo. Buffalo's better than they are. A lot of teams are better than they are. The Panthers are above 500. They're pretty good, but that's not good enough in this league. This quote from Matthew Tkachuk is as bad as I've felt about the Panthers in 2.5 years outside of Barkov's injury. Quote, "We're in trouble now." That guy doesn't say that unless he knows it. And that guy being scared signals to me what you guys all felt when you came in here yesterday, where I got Mike and Roy and Zad all crestfallen because they're like, it's over. That loss finishes us last night. At home, allowing 5 goals, you make it 3-3 going into the third period, and you lose the game and you lose to Buffalo.
You were up 2-0 in it. Mm-hmm. That's what a last stand is supposed to look like.
Yep.
You had your energy line contribute in the first minute. You have Evan Rodriguez do what he usually does against the Buffalo Sabres. And then you double up Buffalo on shots. And I guess the ironic part about it is the guy that probably ends your run is Alex Lyon, who started this whole thing when he was a hot goalie for Florida, when you were in a similar situation, quite honestly, with where we are with Bob. Bob's numbers this year are
literally
bad.
career worst.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, how about you stay in the goal?
You can't get on him too much.
Maybe there's a contender that needs a goalie that wants to bet on Bobrovsky recapturing his form, but this is certainly the end of something for Florida. I don't think it's the end for their core, but a lot of the faces that became local heroes and key contributors, Florida may be a seller at the deadline.
They might. Not anything big. I don't think they'll sell anything big, but they may be a seller, some smaller pieces. You know, they're done for this year. And by the way, like last night feels like the death blow. It's going to get a little bit worse before we go to the international break, because you got Boston and Tampa this week. 2 teams
Must
that they're
wins?
also we're past it. Like last night was a death blow. They are not going to make the playoffs. I told you a couple weeks ago I was starting to get nervous. Last night was it. They're 9 back now of the final playoff spot. They cannot stay healthy. They lost Bennett last night. Marchand is missing in action. Lundell, he's missing in action.
Greer line was the best line.
It's like you get one guy back in the lineup, you lose 2 more. It's a lost season, and they'll be back next year.
Sergei Bobrovsky's stopping 88% of the shots on goal.
Career worst.
That's terrible. So it's about time to start looking at Tarasov at number 1 for the rest of the season.
Whoa. So Zaslow said a couple of weeks ago he was officially worried about the Panthers. Roy is benching their 2-time champion goalie.
Sounds like Roy's nervous because Roy doesn't usually give us this.
Well, listen, how they made the playoffs in that run versus Vegas in the Stanley Cup final, they needed help. They're not going to get that help this season. It's just too good in the East.
Too many good teams, so many good teams. Greg Cody, your thoughts here. I was very pleased to hear today. I couldn't believe it. A back in my day is in the holster. So the Cody family is producing the content of sound that has Shaq mad at me that we're going to get to. And Greg Cody has a back in my day. What are your thoughts here? Because we were singing the song I'm going to say, not 2 months ago. Oh, how lovely it is. They all take discounts. They know how to run their organization. They are such a model franchise for excellence when 30 years they've been total incompetence and all these guys love each other and they all take less money to be here. What a great way to defend the title. I actually prefer that it goes this way to injury than losing in the first round or the second round of the playoffs because you're kind of hurt. Because you're a little bit hurt and not quite yourself. Here, everyone in the league knows, oh, this can't be taken away from them. They were just hurt. Nobody took this from them.
Right. I don't think anybody realistically, including major Panthers fans, expected 3 in a row. I just don't. It hasn't happened in the NHL.
Even if they were healthy?
Even if they were healthy.
It hasn't happened.
They were healthy. That's what the expectation
They were healthy.
was.
That'd have been my expectation.
I don't think so. I don't think the betting odds were that, and I think it hadn't happened in the NHL for like 30 years for a reason.
Weren't they favored, though? Weren't they, at the beginning of the season?
That's what they were supposed to chase. Like, you would look around and say, well, I know it's really hard to do, but why not this team? Why not this team that's been to three straight Cup finals already? Why not this core that is still relatively young despite all the minutes that they've played? Why not us was the attitude, I think.
But when Barkov is lost for the season to a knee injury before it even starts, I think that's a death knell.
No. That's after.
Yeah.
That we're talking about different things. Yeah, after Barkov went out for the year, my expectations changed.
Okay, I don't think the general expectation was 3 in a row.
I think they were the betting favorite, though, before Barkov got injured. I believe they were still the betting favorite.
I can't even engage in this. This is ridiculous. Every Panther fan was saying, let's three-peat.
But let's hear
not the realistic ones, okay? And then the injuries mount. But there's no excuse for having a losing record at home. That's what surprises me. Is that there's been no
There is an excuse,
no
though. Injuries are the excuse.
Well, then why do they have a better record on the road? I mean, home has not been a safe haven for the Panthers this year.
Well, I'll say why, okay? For example, what you have seen from them in terms of excellence over the course of the last few years is they win the third period. They choke you out. They're the best team in the sport. They're championship good in the third period. You got no chance in the third period. Yesterday, it's 3-3 in the third period. They bow. That's what happened to them at home.
They just don't have the guys. The guys that you would turn to.
Yeah, because
it
started to feel like what Dan is describing a couple of weeks ago when Marchand and Tkachuk returned. Remember, for the first time ever, they played a regular season game next to each other. Panthers won a couple runs. Like, all right, now we're amazing. You could win games when you have your lineup. And they were choking teams out in the third period for like 2 games. And then we lose Lundell and lose Marchand. And, of course, Seth Jones is still out. It's like it's a disaster.
And there's been, paper cuts along the way.
Yeah.
Even though it's not an injury. Carter Verhaeghe goes away for a little bit. Seth Jones and Kulikovs are out for extended periods of time.
Bennett last night. Who knows what he's...
These are great... These are players that they counted on throughout this entire run. Bennett being out means that they have 0 active centermen that were on the ice for the game-clinching Stanley Cup game against Edmonton.
It is a staggering thing to actually see, not surprising given how physical that sport is, but their greatest advantage last year, like we could talk about how good Bobrovsky was, we could talk about how great Barkov is in all the ways, but their greatest advantage last year, and McDavid, if you got him in an honest moment, would tell you this, it was too many waves of depth, man. To have it lost like that, where the depth can't bail you out, where you're the deepest team in the league, and the depth cannot help you at all, you're going to lose home games because everyone's so hurt that you cease to have depth. That's a little crazy. I don't know. I haven't actually looked at the numbers on games lost to injury, but I've got to imagine that they're at the top of the league.
Of course.
Games lost to injury by, I'm guessing, by a pretty substantive margin when they've gone from having the league's best depth to not having any depth at all.
They're down like 10 guys, right?
But I'm with Dan. This is a better way to go out, certainly less heartbreaking, and now you're looking at potentially an off-season. Florida's off-season's always been like a month and a half long, and it's usually at the elbow room half the time. A proper off-season to get this core one more run before they all go north of 30, one more run.
This part is interesting to me, though, when you talk about a proper offseason. I really don't think, not even hockey fans, the most ardent of hockey fans, never mind casual sports fans, have any earthly understanding of the physical toll it takes to win a championship in any of our 4 major sports. Not just hockey, but hockey more than most, because hockey's got the travel and the brutal violence. Football doesn't have the travel. It's 8 games. It's not 40 of them. Basketball has the travel, but it's not this physicality. Baseball has more travel, but it's not this physicality. So when the Warriors burn out after 4 years and Klay's body breaks and Kevin Durant's body breaks and Draymond wants to fight everybody, winning up there really hurts. And having no off seasons, like what's happened here? When you guys say, oh, what bad luck? This ain't bad luck, man. This is what that sport does to champions who want it the most. Kachuk's been playing as a torso for the last 2 years. Like he's coming back and they have to rest him for a great period of time because he's out there and the only thing that works is his navel. Like it's totally nuts, the physical pain that these guys go through to get through that. And I don't think anybody watching, listening, caring the most has any earthly idea. This happened to the Panthers. It's not bad luck. It's the result of what they chased and earned. Like, this is the result. The result is everybody's body breaks. It's more probable to happen to guys who don't have any rest and have to play more games than to guys who don't have to play because their offseason starts early.
It caught up to the team that's played the last hockey game of the season the past 3 seasons. Remember how this run started? Their bodies were broken. Remember all the wedding photos that these guys had that first offseason after losing to Vegas? I mean, guys were in neck braces. Guys were using crutches. It was ridiculous. Matthew Tkachuk had the only win in that playoff series was assisted by Matthew Tkachuk, who broke his sternum in that game and came back. And he's only been hurt since then with lower body injuries. It's crazy. I think the Bobrovsky stuff, though, yes, he's older.
That's going to be interesting how they handle that. His contract's up.
Yeah, I think maybe some of the things that we've seen affect him is he's lost the best two-way center in the game in Barkov, and that has certainly impeded our defense, which has made him lesser.
Yeah, but
still has Ekblad.
88% though. No, 88% though on stopping shots doesn't have to do with Barkov.
No, he's not a replacement level goalie right now. He's just not. He's just not good. Maybe a team takes a chance on him. I do think that it's the end for maybe a handful of guys.
Yeah, giving up 3 goals per game is not gonna win your games at all. So, yeah, it's gonna be a tough offseason for him.
This stinks.
Yeah.
It stinks. It's just such a bummer. Like
I was bummed sitting there watching that game last night.
We all kind of felt it when Barkov went down in a heap the second he touched the ice for the first time this preseason. But there were moments where you're like, no, this team is good enough. Marchand, he's in his bag. Like, they're good enough to fight and scrap their way, and then no one wants to see them, and they're not going to get that opportunity.
Well, yeah, and you figured at least, all right, it's going to be tough to make the playoffs. I always felt it was going to be tough to make the playoffs once Barkov got hurt. But my guess would have been we'll get to a week left in the season and we'll be a couple points out and we'll have a chance. We're in the middle. We're in early February and we're calling it.
I'm promising you guys that getting to grieve early is better than the result you were headed for, which is a first-round exit where it feels like Toronto, where somebody took it from you when they didn't take it from you. You were hurt. It hurts, but this will hurt less than what would have happened in the playoffs for sure to this team.
But that's what I always thought was the floor for a 2-time champion. I didn't think the floor was don't even make the playoffs, even with all the injuries. I thought the floor was you eke through the first round, you're eliminated in the second round, something like that. To not even make the playoffs, even with the injuries, is a surprise.
No, to me, though, it's not a surprise just because it makes all the more impressive what they've done the last 2 years. All of these teams have been this kind of good the last couple of years, and they've beaten all of them. Hockey's been impossibly good, 10 and 12 and 14 teams high for the last 2 seasons, and the Panthers have been better than everybody.
I hate that Carolina's going to get this moment just because they waited us out.
But I love that Buffalo is going to replace the Panthers in this situation because those fans absolutely deserve it. Not going to the playoffs, 14 straight years?
Deserve it. We deserve it.
I don't care.
Yeah.
We won twice already.
I deserve a third one before they deserve anything.
I just
What are
started
you
paying
talking
attention to hockey. I live in a swamp. Give me 3 in a row.
Sabres.
Buffalo deserves. Eat shit, Buffalo. I care about Buffalo.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Does Zaz deserve a 3rd championship more than hockey fans in Buffalo deserve 1? at Le Batard Show.
Just a playoff appearance.
I'm promising you guys, I know you don't believe me now because it hurts and nobody wants to hear condolences at the funeral. It doesn't mean anything. But I'm promising you guys that losing this way feels better than losing to Carolina in the playoffs, than losing in the first round.
I agree with that.
No, I'm just telling you that all.
I want to make the playoffs. I don't buy this. I get it. That would stink. Losing in the first round, but
No, it's
Get me
losing.
to the dance.
No, it's like now you wouldn't lose in the first round to Carolina because it's not the way it lines up. But like losing in the first round to Tampa or Toronto, no, that would feel worse than this. It
I'm
would.
supposed to listen to your logic when you wanted that first Stanley Cup to go 7 games when they were up 3-0.
you. That's right, Roy.
You?
I mean, that guy over there.
He was right. Ultimately, it was so much better
It was
that
so
way.
great.
It was so much better.
You'll remember it forever.
It didn't
Yeah.
feel good during the time, but like it was better.
You said what was the worst memory the last couple of years? Being tied 3-3 with Edmonton. Having blown 3 in a row. That's about as low as I can remember.
I disagree. Well, you saw I was happy about it. Mike accused me publicly of that's performative, and I'm like, no, it's Game 7s are wonderful.
Nah, I was pretty cool with winning the title not in 7 or blowing a 3-0 lead.
I was too, but now knowing what we know,
6 at
this
home
was
would have
better.
been nice.
Last year was pretty sweet.
Okay, you say this, but my mother's a season ticket holder for the Heat. I want to get to the Heat stuff here because it's interesting what you guys did last night, what happened with Shaq, and an assortment of things that had Pat Riley dancing at the gala because it felt to everyone here like he knows he's going to get Giannis.
Oh yeah.
But my mother went to, so the Bulls and the Heat played 3 games, and my mother goes to all the games, and the last one, the Heat won by 50 or 60 points. And my mom was like, that was terrible. Like, I hated that. Like that, I sat there all night and I'm like, they were up by 50 all night. And like, you guys think you want that? But if I give you the result of 7 games instead of 5, and I give you the memory forever of, do you remember how scared I was before Game 7? The fear is part of the fun. I understand that you thought you were going to lose. You think you want that, but a 4-game sweep is less fun. It's just less fun than winning in 7. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is winning in 4 less fun than winning in 7? Because I disagree with you guys. You guys don't understand. You guys want to blow everybody out by 60. And I was bored by the first 30 games of this Thunder season. Like, just bored. I like watching that team play. Bored watching them play. Now it's more interesting.
Now you're back.
Right. Now I'm like, okay, people got a chance. Even Michael Jordan, we always made the arguments. Will Reggie Miller do it? Will Karl Malone do it? Will somebody do it? Like, it was always close. There was always a reason to think, except for the year that they won 72. There was always a reason to think that Michael Jordan might get knocked off by somebody. And that was part of the fun, and it's what made Michael Jordan Michael Jordan. What makes the Panthers is that they beat McDavid in his prime. Twice. They beat this at the height of his powers. You'll have that forever.
Yeah, they turned him into McOverrated.
Oh, here we go.
No, I'm
you,
just saying.
you. We're
I'm
all
just
mad
saying.
at you.
The Panthers did that.
You
I
are not
didn't.
one to talk after costing us the University of Miami championship.
Roy.
Oh, did
Me?
You!
yes.
You!
You
Roy,
said the
don't
name.
start.
You!
Roy, don't start.
Yeah,
Do
you
not
did.
start, Roy.
Everybody saw that
Tony
coming.
will never forgive you. Tony will never forgive you.
I may have
Again.
seen it coming, but I didn't say it out loud.
Again, you could see it coming and keep it in your heart, okay,
Keep
in
it
the
in
deep
your heart.
recesses of your mind. The moment you speak it,
Yes.
and then he throws that interception,
Yep.
I will be on my dying deathbed, never forgiving Roy for what he did.
Yeah, zip
Ever.
it up.
Put it on the poll. Is dying deathbed redundant?
You want my thoughts on the Panthers?
I do want your thoughts on Giannis and the Heat. Who went last night to the Heat Gala? What's the information I need to know from the Heat Gala? Because I understand that Shaq is mad at me, but also, Chris, you insulted him, correct? You personally made the mistake. Do you know this story, Greg? Do you know what your son did to insult Shaq? Do you know what happened?
And no, I'm just picturing him looking up like this.
Well, that's part of it.
Yeah, Jeremy and I were mic'd, so our move was to every guest, hand them the mic. They hold their mic, and we can just have a free-flowing
Yeah, let
conversation.
them feel comfortable.
And, Shaq may or may not have hit me with, I don't hold mics.
Did he curse?
Titty curse.
We got a whole package here we want
At
to show you
you.
guys.
Hey, yo.
What?
What? Excuse me?
Whose package? You're ready to play the entirety of the package? So you guys. Well,
Dan, we talked to Wade, we talked to Riley.
No, but hold on. But wait a minute. Before you throw it to the package, give me some information.
teasing.
So you go, for the love of God,
Again,
man.
Dan.
just an amateur. Like, you think, has he never done this before? Like,
I mean, it's called a conversation back and forth. You throw it to me, I talk about the
Yeah,
mic
but you
thing.
set the oven. You got the oven getting a little bit
That's
hotter.
what I was doing.
You
I was
set it
talking
to
about the mic
450.
thing.
All of a sudden, it's like 250, 300.
what happened? Okay, did Shaq curse at you? Did
There were
me a
many
little
at
bit.
me.
Did-
There were many curse words said by Shaq. I forget how many were directed at me. You definitely got a few.
Okay, but how many were directed at you because he said, I don't know, I'm asking you. Did he say, I don't hold mics or I don't hold bleeping mics? Do you remember? Can you quote him directly as the son of a journalist?
I don't remember specifically. There were
We
so
could
many.
play you the sound in the package, Dan.
All right, play the whole damn package.
Doing a Cody?
How's it going? How's it going?
He keeps demanding that I land the whale. I might be out there looking, but I got a guy in a chair back there with a big harpoon, and that's Andy Ellisberg. And once I identify it, he goes.
What do you think is the most annoying thing about Dan Le Batard?
I don't know what's the most annoying, but if I had to pick one, I would say his voice.
And Dan, I'm gonna kill you when I see you.
We're here at the Kaseya Center. Hi, everybody. This isn't the pitch bomb. Okay. Antoine Walker's here. All right, we'll be back. Start right here. What do you remember the most about celebrating that 2006 championship?
Really just how special the group was. We was a really close group of guys that hung out together, did everything together to achieve a common goal.
Could potential for is this journalism? Jeremy's excitement about meeting Dwayne Wade. It's like, play it cool, dude. Act like you've been there before.
I'm not going to play it cool.
My neck, my back, my Michael Doliak. Looks like we're not
Turns out we
Doliak.
didn't get Michael Doliak.
Oh, there's Pat Riley. Oh, boy, Pat Riley. Pat Riley sighting to my right.
Oh, my God.
This is so exciting. This is like my childhood.
Pat, what do you remember most about celebrating the 2006 championship?
That team was special. They stepped up big time. It was just a series of big-time moments where big-time players, big-time, superstar players, they're all Hall of Famers right now. All of them at that moment with a little bit of age and experience, they made the big plays when it counted the most.
I want to ask your top 3 Bruce Springsteen songs.
Well, I love The Rising, Land of Hope and Dreams. I got his whole catalog, but the one that Chris and I really relate to, and get Le Batard playing on his show sometimes, Back in Your Arms Again. It was on 18 tracks.
How do you feel about you and Chris being a couple of hat guys here?
Yeah.
You like the style?
Swag.
I try.
What's your favorite story that you've shared of a moment with Coach Spo thus far in your career?
Favorite sporty, if you will. Can you tell that?
When he called timeout in Detroit and we didn't have one.
Do you ever just give him rib him a little bit, like, hey, Detroit?
we always in the huddle now. I always ask him how many timeouts he got. So just make sure me and you are on both on the same page.
Oh my God, Dwayne Wade is right here. He's right there.
There you go. We got. Okay, hell yeah, man. I got you.
I love that. All right, sir. What do you remember most about celebrating the 2006 championship?
The parade, the 15 strong that we weren't allowed to look at. I used to actually come in here and shoot tonight, and as soon as I pick up the cover of security guard, hey, don't do that. So Pat Riley had 24-hour security on that thing.
What is more embarrassing, when your phone light is on by mistake, or when you realize that you're walking around and your backpack is wide open?
Probably say the backpack, because you don't know what's gonna fall out.
Besides Shohei Ohtani, can you name a baseball player?
No.
Oh, yeah, I'm a baseball fan. William Contreras.
There we go.
All right. All right, that's great. Look at both of you at the same time.
Oh, the coach, Tony Fiorentino. I just want a yeah, baby. I just want one yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Not from you.
Between you with the nickname The Glove and Jay Will with the nickname White Chocolate, who had the better nickname of the point guard?
Of course. The glove. White chocolate was cool, but the glove is what it is, man. Glove, baby.
What is the strangest thing you've ever eaten in the car? Our boss recently admitted to eating chicken wings, and one of our coworkers said an entire rotisserie chicken.
I would probably say a hard-boiled egg, just because that's just the worst thing you can do to everyone in the car.
Who is
Over
that?
hard though, right? No medium. You don't want that congealedness. Just the fully hard.
Yeah.
Well, probably a McDonald's burger. Who doesn't have a double Big Mac, and a Coke? That's when you're really hungry.
Man, I used to eat everything. I used to come with candy.
Big Mac, strawberry shake, fries.
What's the big bucket of, what's it called? Cheese puffs? No. Yeah.
And just look over your shoulder. You're 6 o'clock. Dwayne Wade just walked in. Coming up next, Jeremy urinates his pants.
All right, I'm going to start here. Dwayne, I don't really know how to tell you this, but you're my favorite athlete and probably favorite human of all time. Your response.
The human is, like, give me a hug, bro.
What do you remember most from celebrating that 06 championship?
I just remember all of us, like, we look at each other now, man, just gleaming, just beaming. I always say, we all became the greatest role players in the world. We all played our roles to perfection, no matter what it was. And so I'm just proud. That's all I can say about 06, man. I can just put proud next to it because, everywhere I go, I walk around proud knowing that we accomplished that championship because it was the first and the hardest.
How often do you think about the Anderson Varejao dunk?
I'm thinking about it now that you said it. I wasn't before this.
In terms of single plays in your career, though, like what are the plays that jump out of just like?
That's from a dunk standpoint.
Yeah.
That's number one. And then this is the play. I don't know if you guys remember on the sideline when I against Cleveland.
Around the guy. Yes.
Like I took a little bit from that. I used to do that outside in Chicago. Like I brought it to the NBA. Like I used to do that outside.
Superlatives for your 2006 teammates. Okay, so who was the class clown?
GP.
Shaq.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq, always.
Who were the two teammates most likely to butt heads?
Shaq and Zoe.
Me and Zoe.
UD and GP.
Antoine Walker, James Posey.
Who was the life of the party?
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq.
Me. Antoine
That's
Walker.
what he said.
Teacher's pet.
Me.
Dwayne. I would say Zoe.
Lonzo Mourning.
And best all around.
We'll get that to Big Zoe. He deserves it.
Oh, D-Wade.
I'm going to give it to Shaq. Shaq's personality is second to none. Me.
What's worse, height shaming or hairline shaming?
Well, I don't get height or hairline shame because I smack mother.
You want to keep your hairline.
Our boss, Dan Le Batard, thinks that you hate him. How right is he?
I do hate him. However, I will never disrespect him. If I seen him with his family, I'm going to be like, hello, Mr. Dan. But if we're in a place where we can go at it, we can go at it.
All right, guys, we did it. Don't pan down because Jeremy urinated himself during the Dwayne Wade interview.
Yep.
Back to you, Dan.
So I have a lot of questions. One of them is when Jeremy hugged Dwayne Wade, is that journalism? Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Better nickname, White Chocolate or The Glove. And also, if you would, Lewis, at your convenience, when Shaq says, I'm going to kill you, can we put on the screen at some point the frozen reaction of Chris and Jeremy totally betraying me and roaring with laughter at something that's decidedly not funny? Like if a person that size...
Look at Chris's face.
Like a couple stooges.
That's the moneymaker, boys.
Come on.
That's
was
great.
great.
That's why we're there.
We're there to hear Shaq say, I'll kill Dan Le Batard.
That is when the whole night is worth it, baby.
That is horrific.
That's great. That's just good humor.
He's not joking. He is, by reputation, somebody that everyone in the world would do word association and say, a giant.
Look at my face. I didn't notice that.
You remember the picture of Russell Wilson when he gets drafted and his fiance or wife or whatever at the time has exactly Chris's face? If we can zoom in on that, she's there like, I made it, baby. There was Chris. I made it, baby. I did it.
The size of that betrayal is staggering to me. How happy you guys were made. He was not joking, and that's not deadpan. If I'm with my father, he will be nice. And if he sees me alone, he's not happy with me. He will choke me. He will be, you know what he'll do to me? He will do to me what the Mountain did to Pablo Pascal in Game of Thrones. He will. What's the matter with you guys?
Pedro Pascal, by the way.
I did that for the second time.
Keep it moving. And we'll remember what Roy said later.
Also, who was that? Who was that girl? Who's the lady?
Oh, Vlad Golden's fiance?
Now who's Vlad Golden?
The Heat center, Vlad Golden? You didn't know Cameron Volger?
Who is Cameron Volger?
Vlad Golden's fiance.
Well, really? We're going to do this? We're just going to go around and around with that?
That was before we got anyone, and no one was over with us, and we were just like, we needed star
power is what we needed.
Hey, we'll talk to you.
Oddly got more camera time than Bam's date.
Weird.
Did we even identify Bam's dates?
You don't need to. That's Asia Wilson. Everybody knows that.
Is this journalism?
They said Vlad Golden was like, I thought that was a Heat thing. Was it a Panther guy?
But can I just say, can we just talk about last night, Pat Riley? His vibe. There was something going on.
Oh, yeah. We know what's going on.
I have a theory that doesn't relate to Giannis. It could have been he got to be back in the head coach chair for a night. He was just feeling the vibe of I'm in charge. Like, this was my team.
It's a good theory.
Like, or he knows he's getting Giannis. I'm telling you, one of those two things was happening last night because the guy was happy. He was dancing. He had energy. He was going up to every interview, starting the conversation.
It also could have been Chianti.
Maybe. But I'm telling you, I've been around Pat Riley at these things before, and he had a vibe last night. That's all I'm saying.
I have a theory on what that vibe is, and I believe this is going to come down to Golden State and Miami when it comes to Giannis. And I think that not enough people are talking about this part. I know Milwaukee might want to wait for the offseason because the Heat's offer would get better in the offseason because they'd have more to give. There is no circumstance in which Giannis wants to play a second half of a season that doesn't matter. Like, none. And you put him with Bam and Norman Powell, and now you start fooling around with whatever it is you can figure out in the second half of a season because you haven't lost pieces that are going to crush you. I'm guessing that's why Pat Riley is more, ebullient there than you might expect him to be because he knows he's got a good chance at fixing this in the next couple of days.
League can't be happy either about Milwaukee essentially benching one of its great superstars, one of the faces of the league during the prime of his career. You're going to have another NBA postseason where Giannis isn't a factor. I assume that there is some implied pressure from the league here.
Well, and there was an interesting detail thrown out there. I believe it was in Mark Stein's reporting, which was that Giannis doesn't want to sit out the rest of the season. When he's back from his calf injury, he wants to play. And the reason that that's interesting is because him playing in Milwaukee winning games sabotages their pick going into next season. That team does not want to win more games from here. They need to have the highest pick possible. And so that's a bit of tension that gets created. It's another thing trying to leverage his way out without, again, specifically demanding I go XYZ place.
Jeremy, I have a bit of regret that last week the angriest that I was for a long time actually on the air was simply screaming at you because you were so ready to talk that you didn't listen to anything that was said before you were ready to talk and then went right to your point. Mike Ryan saying that there's implied pressure from the league here is asinine. Asinine. Like, I implied pressure from the league that Giannis needs to be traded so he can play the second half of the season where the league wants him to? Like, what are you talking about?
Okay, man, we disagree.
But what would that even look like? What's implied pressure?
You don't have to say anything.
Well, okay, then that they're doing.
Do you not know how implications work?
No, but that they're doing. They're not saying anything. But how are you reading in there not anything that it's implied pressure? You're right to report that the league is doing nothing, but you turn it into implied pressure, and I don't know what that looks like.
All right.
The implications, Dan. You
yeah.
get it? We're out on the boat.
So it's inferred pressure, not implied. It's inferred.
Okay.
You know about that inferred pressure?
I don't think there's any pressure inferred or implied from the league going on here on anything. Why would they care?
They just signed a whole bunch of new broadcasting rights with Peacock, Amazon, ESPN. I mean, it's not on Turner anymore. I'm sure that all their broadcast partners are going to be super pumped that Giannis isn't going to be playing in the playoffs. It's implied.
It's implied that they want all of their players to play. There wouldn't be any more
Look
implied
who's agreeing
pressure.
with me. Thank you, pal. We're good. Look at us. Finding consensus. Look at us. A healed America.
Are you buying the ideas as that because the trading deadline is in a couple days? Oh, we got Super Bowl stuff today, by the way. Fred Warner is going to join us.
Oh, yeah, the Super Bowl.
I asked a question before the show.
Super Bowl.
Actively. As good at his job as anyone we've had on the show recently. I think dating back to like when Aaron Donald was in studio. That's the last time we had someone this excellent at their job.
Michael Biamonte would like a word.
And you're forgetting that Chris Mad Dog Russo is also on the show.
Doggy!
Greetings to all. Welcome to 2022. Omicron is on the run, and away it went. But oops, there goes gravity, and here comes a new variant. Omaha, Corona, Hut 1, Hut 2, nothing infects the Super Bowl, and nothing stops football.
Racism, greed, trauma to brain and spine. And yet, I cannot look away. Heroes are dead. Science has their heads. Oh, is there no escape from here? I need to know. It eats my soul. Nothing stops the NFL. Is this heaven or hell? I can't tell. It's human cockfighting. CTE prayer circles. They blackballed the black baller. They tried to end racism by stenciling it in the end zone. Billionaire boys using millionaires as toys. It's all immoral, all unethical. Ooh, the witching hour. Nothing stops the NFL. Is this heaven or hell? I can't tell. It's Urban and Snyder and Flores and Gruden, but Kyler, but Kelsey, but Cooper, but Canty. It's cheating and tanking and bounties and banking, but parlays, but face paint, but promo, but innings.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
There's a Paul Mezcal and a Pedro Pascal. It's all too much.
James Harden is making another mess. I want to get to that. Roger Goodell spoke yesterday. The Rooney Rule needs a lot of help. He does this annually. He gets in front of reporters and tries to give answers to things, but it's a bad position for him to be in because they've got a lot of stuff that's hard to handle. And obviously, the Rooney Rule, among other things, is a disaster. It clearly doesn't work. He knows it doesn't work. They've been trying to make it work for 20 years, and it's always the white people that get hired by the white people, and it's better than it's been, but it's not because of the Rooney Rule. And if I were a black coach in that league, I'd be insulted by the fact that they almost always have to be reminded, hey, you know you got to do this, right? Yeah, you can go through this pretend interview because it's good for the black candidates to have their names associated with your pretend interviews, but it's not a real thing. We know you're always gonna hire the guy that you're more comfortable with. So I want to get to some Roger Goodell sound, but I was surprised by this with James Harden last night. I shouldn't have been because it's James Harden.
Yeah, because he does it every 2 years.
I shouldn't have been, but I still was surprised by it. You want to take people through the details of what a mess this is? Because you guys just got done saying the Clippers started the season awful. They looked old. We were talking about, is OKC going to get another number one pick because they're going to be the worst team in the league? And then the last, 3 weeks, they've been playing the best basketball in the sport, better than Detroit. Last night, they get smoked, and it's because of this. They get smoked at home by Philadelphia, and it's because James Harden is being James Harden again.
They're totally back in at the Clippers after such a miserable start to the season. I think they'd won before last night where they got killed by Philadelphia, predictably so. I think they'd won like 17 out of 20. So they're still a couple games under 500, but like they're back in the playoff picture out west. And then out of nowhere, or maybe not out of nowhere, James Harden was listed out last night for personal reasons, and the personal reason is he personally doesn't want to play for the Clippers anymore. So he has essentially demanded a trade, and it's very similar to the Jimmy Butler situation last year, where James Harden, it's not where he wants a trade because the team isn't good. No, the team's been playing great, and they were going to be a playoff team. It's because even though he's under contract right now making a lot of money, and he's also under contract next year making a lot of money, no. But what about in 4 years from now? Why won't you give me money for 4 years from now? Oh, you're not going to do that? I'm not playing here anymore, which was exactly what happened with Jimmy Butler last year. And look, it's a part about the NBA player that has really turned me off over the last few years. He's under contract to play right now and next year. And, play basketball. Play basketball.
I'm kind of with you. Harden's at the age where we stop doing that. There is a tipping point.
37!
You mentioned Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was right to look for that extra security because he was probably more self-aware than we gave him credit for when it came to his body breaking down the minutes, the coaches that he's played for. But yeah, Harden, when does it end? We're at that point in your career where people are going to look back at his career and be bewildered by how many teams he played for.
Every 2 years, he requests a trade.
Yeah.
Literally.
What is the market value for a James Harden?
Oh, I think you can get a lot for him.
Like a lot?
They're talking about Darius Garland.
Darius Garland is a
right.
market.
Who has no toe, by the way. He hasn't been playing because he doesn't have a toe.
Wait, I don't think there's a great market for James Harden at 37, although there will be a market for him.
Well, what categorizes good market? Like, what does that mean?
Well, not Darius Garland.
Something better, you're saying.
I mean, that's not...
He has 9 toes?
No, his toe is hurt. He hurt his toe in the offseason.
Okay.
The Cleveland's confusing to me. I keep expecting him and them to be better, and they're not because he's not, at least in part. But the thing I wanted to say about what Zaz is saying, I agree, and most people listening to this would just say, yeah, Zaz, play contract guy. But Jimmy Butler got his money. Like, he did what he had to do in order to get $112 million for 2 years, $60 million a year, because he was at the end of the road and he used the only leverage that he had. James Harden's not going to have any leverage at the end of this contract. This is the only time he has it. And I'm sorry, he's a businessman mercenary who's just there for the paycheck. And I'm sorry he urinates on your sports ideals and you want to believe in team. This is the only time he's going to have that leverage for the remainder of his career. This is the time. If someone's going to give him a contract, it would only be now.
I feel like he's exercised the very leverage that you're outlining several times in his career, in which he's earned a $500 million. He's 36 years old.
He wants more.
All right, cool. I guess he's just remaining consistent throughout his career. But at what point does a superstar realize, all right, I've had it pretty good. Let me try to win.
Well,
we're playing good ball over here.
never,
Let me see
though.
this contract through.
Well, and Dan, like when you say he wants more, yes, of course he wants more, but it's like he's under contract for 2 more seasons. Like, what's the line? Like he's under contract.
Jimmy Butler just showed you. He got his money. Jimmy Butler got his money and then got hurt. Got his last $112 million. That's the line.
Right, and the part that I would push back on, everything you're saying makes sense for the individual player. It obviously worked out really well for Jimmy Butler, but you can't possibly be confused why a fan like myself would hate this situation.
Of course.
Why would I be okay
Of course.
with it?
Nobody supports this except James Harden. Nobody supports this except the player.
Well, guys, you guys are doing a parallel thing between him and Jimmy Butler. Look up. Look higher. LeBron James has been doing this the same way, right? Him and the Lakers are at odds right now. Why? Because they don't want to extend him. They have 2 different timelines.
But he's not
between
refusing
Luka
to
and between
play.
LeBron. I mean, not
He did miss
publicly.
sciatica.
You accused him of refusing to
Literally.
play.
You were the guy that made me believe that.
That
You
is
literally
true.
said that. At least
Are you
say you're
betraying
injured.
me?
That's actually true.
Are you the
me?
bullshit?
I did
You
confuse-
convinced me.
I did say
Journalism.
that. I did say that.
So if LeBron's doing it as the top and face of the league,
You
why
got
wouldn't
me.
James Harden do it?
I did say
That's
that.
the first time I've ever seen shame on Zez that isn't about him speaking poorly.
It's not shame. It's just admission.
I got his ass. That's what it was. I got his
Yeah,
ass.
we're talking this
got
way because
me.
you got us on your team.
The sports fan is always going to be entitled to tell the employee who wants leverage, get back out there. When's it about winning? Come on, be about the team. James Harden, very clearly, has never been about the team. James Harden, very clearly, is about the money. James Harden, very clearly, is not about winning. James Harden is about James Harden.
Well, sports has become the wild, wild west. There's no sanctity left in the contract. There's no sanctity left in the scholarship. You know, a quarterback goes from Duke to Miami because he wants to, and a player in the NBA goes from one team to the other because he pouts his way.
It's the
into
freedom
a trade.
all us employees would love to have.
I'm not saying it isn't, but is it good for sports? It's certainly not good for fans that are losing players who they thought were under contract.
It hasn't been bad for the business of sports. Like, you can lament it all you want, but the business of sports is doing fine in spite of this.
Is this, I guess, him going to Cleveland? Weird fit. Him playing in Cleveland.
Oh, I'd much rather have James Harden than Darius Garland.
I don't know.
from
Sure,
Cleveland.
of course.
I don't know if I could get through to him, but you're 36. You're one of the few people that gets along with Kawhi. You're playing good ball. You're in LA. We made it. We made $500 million in our career. Let's go. You don't want to go to Cleveland. You don't want to do this. Come on. Let's stick it out. Let's try to win here.
Can someone get me the reckless speculation sounder?
Whoa.
Can we make that happen? Anybody?
Time to throw away all journalistic credibility and get reckless. Here is something we like to call reckless speculation.
You're good.
James Harden and the Clippers know that Kawhi is going to be suspended for the aspiration stuff. It's why Kawhi was snubbed from playing in the All-Star game. And James Harden, despite them playing really good ball together and being boys with Kawhi Leonard, wants out. And they're willing to go with a younger piece in Garland because they're trying to clear their books and get off of everything that's about to happen.
I
with
like
Kawhi.
this theory.
I love this theory, but I got some questions to start with. I love this theory.
I love the theory, too. I loved it more the first time I heard it when Windhorst offered it.
The reaction within the league has been kind of universal between the executives and I've talked to, which is Kawhi Leonard doesn't make the team. So, okay, that happens. Players get snubbed. Kawhi's numbers are phenomenal, but the game is obviously at Intuit Dome. And the wonder is, did he not make this team because the coaches didn't vote for him because of the accusations of the improper contract?
Sound like he forgot the name of the company.
That's a seed, though. I mean, I think Jeremy took it next level.
I'm yes-anding on Windhorst. Windhorst is giving me information and
Stealing
saying,
it.
like, hey, I think this might be because of aspiration. And what I'm saying to you is you got to connect the dots between that part of it and James Harden in the midst of the Clippers playing incredible basketball, all of a sudden saying, nope, I want out.
Not journalism.
It's reckless speculation.
My first question, though, is, okay, if that's why, and I could ask this question of Windhorst as well, but he's not here, so I'm asking you. Were the coaches given like a memo? Don't vote James Harden?
Implied pressure. The league said nothing, but everyone felt it.
Yes. I mean, that, or it was already decided that no matter what the vote was, Kawhi Leonard
Adam
would
Silver
not
cook
be.
the books? Say it. Say cook the books.
I will recklessly speculate that Adam Silver cooked the books on
Good
the
for
All-Star
you.
game.
How about
Good
that?
for you.
Did that hurt?
Recklessly.
Collusion.
Good for you.
Please, if the broadcasts go to the NBA, continue to hire me.
Greg Cody of the Miami Herald has a Back in My Day. He also has a podcast I urge you to listen to, The Greg Cody Show, featuring Greg Cody, where he is in the middle of a giant countdown of his top 50 catchphrases of all time, even though he's got only 21 good ones. So he's got 50, the greatest 50 ones of all time.
We're already a fifth done. We're down to 40.
Yeah. Can you give me another one? Can you give me, just so that the audience notices how hard it was to get to 50, because you guys should have done the top 21 catchphrases of all time. Can you give me some of the others we've never heard before because you're in the middle of the top 50?
Dad, to tease this week's episode, which has Zaslow on it, by the way,
Yeah.
why don't you give the two we didn't reveal last week?
I don't remember them.
One was Scranton.
No, that was the week before, wasn't it?
Wow. See, Dan, there's so many good ones.
Yeah,
It's hard to
there's
remember.
so many good ones.
But my dad going,
the name,
Scranton.
but the name of a city's not a catchphrase.
Yeah,
it's just
it is when you say it,
is.
Scranton.
It is. Where's
Yeah, thank
oops,
you.
there goes another rubber tree
And
plant.
that's probably top 30.
Yeah, that hadn't even made it yet. But, I'll give you one that I just did, which is, hey, hey, we're the monkeys, baby.
That's a good one.
That
He's
was
been
number
doing it my whole
41.
life.
Do you know right now, like, what your top 10 is?
No. No.
Wait, that's not the one that I know. There's another layer to the.
What's the next layer to that?
Yeah.
People say we're monkeying around.
No, don't you go, hey, hey, we're the hey, heys.
Yeah, that's an alternate.
I love that.
That's an alternate.
Hey, hey, we're the hey, heys.
Yeah, I mention that because I do an anatomy of all these things. I do a sort of a genealogy on how all of these things develop.
Okay,
so.
but if you don't have the top 10 yet, you're not worried that you're going to get to top 10 and you're out of catchphrases?
No, I think wait a minute. You must know. Wait,
Well,
that can't
Dad,
be
no,
true.
no. Zaz's frustration, like about a week or two ago, was true. He had started the list without completing it. You know what I mean? It's hard to know what number 48 is if you haven't done the top 10. But now I think he has at least now gotten.
It's all under control. It's
All
all
right,
under
but
control.
can then we recap? Look, I don't think we're spoiling anything by sending people to the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody and telling them that, here are the 10 that have been revealed so far.
Yes.
Can we do this, please? We'll make it a top 10 here, but it'll be 50 through 40. You can't do it off the top of your head. You're just going to say,
Right.
Chris, what are they? I don't remember my catchphrases. I don't remember how we rank them. Where can I get them right now so that we can do these 10?
Okay, but every week before I reveal the latest two, I do a recap of all of them till then.
Yes, you can get that in the episode, but we can do that for this audience, Dad. Do you have the full list in front of you?
No.
Dan wants to go from 50 to 40.
I don't have it in front of me.
Okay, well, can you go get it, please?
It's on my podcast. You can play the podcast.
I need it.
Play a clip from the podcast.
Hey, we're
It's
the
on my
hey,
podcast
heys.
somewhere in the air.
Yeah, just play a clip from it that has
The other one from this
50 to
week.
42.
Thank you for
The
all
other
your
one
help.
from this week was Ball in the Jack.
Yeah, that's number 42.
Ball in the Jack.
Right.
Which is anytime we're rushing somewhere. We're on the way to baseball practice. We're on the highway. And it's like, Dad, we're balling the jack.
Yeah, we're moving it, baby.
Anytime you're moving quick.
Well, that's a 1913 song, or maybe it was 1916. And around that time,
I think it was 16.
You might as well play the Back in My Day music while he explains this, even though we have a Back in My Day more because later in the show. Because why wouldn't you start with this was back in 1916?
And right around that time, coincidentally, railroad workers would refer to Ballin' the Jack because their nickname for a locomotive, for a train, was a jack. So Ballin' the Jack meant the train was moving at a high rate of speed, and then Jack Kerouac, in his On the Road novel, also referred to ballin' the jack in terms of highway travel. So I adopted that, and I've said ballin' the jack frequently. Not on the air so much, but in my private life.
I thought you were talking about playing jacks.
No.
Is this ball in the jack like ballin' the jack or ball in the jack?
No, ballin', B-A-L-L-I-N apostrophe.
Okay,
Never
good to
put
know.
the G on there. It really changes the whole feel of it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's it. It's an abbreviated back in my day. Ballin' the jack. Jack.
Can't wait for 39.
Yeah, I can't either. 40 comes first.
Do you know what 40 is yet?
Not yet.
See, what are we doing here?
Greg, did you just laugh? Did you just laugh out loud at something Lewis said in your ear?
Yes. I couldn't help it. It was funny.
Yeah, but
Thanks, Lewis.
Yeah, but
Gagging the goose.
Of course.
Choking the frog. I mean, there's a million of them.
Of course.
Half of them would sound dirty if we keep doing it.
Oh, you think gagging the goose doesn't?
I don't know what that means.
Why'd you laugh at it?
Why'd you say
Slamming the ham. I mean, ballin' the jack
He'll
is
say
not
anything.
dirty. You know, that kind of thing.
That's going to be number one.
Nah.
You just gave away number.
Gotta be a top
It's going to be
10.
in your top 10.
Might make the top 20. I'm going to say that.
There's no way that kind of thing isn't in the top 10. You don't have 10 better than that.
You don't know.
Trailers for sale
or rent.
Rooms to
to
love 50 cents.
Good idea, Dan.
Yes. What's that voice? I love it.
It's a great question
Yeah, we
for you
can't-
to ask. No, it's a great. That's my inner monologue.
Back to the shadow.
And it had no place right there. There was no reason for my inner monologue to be singing.
Oops, there goes another rubber tree plant.
Greg, it's a great question for you to ask why that voice. For future reference, that voice is always my secret inner monologue used there incorrectly to sing a song.
Okay.
It was in my head. Your head.
Greg, are you ready to do Back in My Day?
Damn, you know it.
Since we're here.
Yeah, I was born ready.
Okay, because you're coughing, and I might need to give you a minute here to get your things in order. You look a little red-faced. You look a little winded. You
I look
okay?
red-faced.
Big numbers
red
for
buttons.
Greg Cody's show this week. I was on it.
We mentioned that already. I heard that Zaslow and Greg Cody, that had to be good because that's a big surprise. I could not have imagined that ever being a thing.
They asked me.
A year ago.
Yeah, I was happy to have him. I'm glad he said yes. And
would have been awkward if I said no.
We talk about
It
your
would've been
shit
awkward.
stirring between them. They kind of like unite together in your shit stirring.
Oh, but Zaz knows I'm not telling anybody anything that isn't true.
Zaz tells a story on the podcast about a O.J. McDuffie Super Bowl party, which is worth the price of admission. That story alone is worth tuning in.
That is how you tease something, not ballin' the jack. Okay. That is how you tease the podcast right there.
Thank
not
you.
crappy sayings in the 40s because you don't have 40 catchphrases.
Yeah, you'll find out, won't you?
I won't.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I already have found out you don't have 40 because Ballin' the Jack just made an appearance.
right,
And
yeah.
I've never heard you say it. And I've known you my entire adult life. I've never heard you say that.
Look, the catchphrase countdown is an amalgam of stuff that I say on your show, stuff that I say on my show, stuff that I say in my private
Lean
life.
back from the mic.
Not everything is something uttered for public consumption. Some of it only Christopher and my family have heard.
You betrayed me on my engagement because
Right.
everything is for public consumption.
Yeah, but your engagement, that story I did not produce a catchphrase, unfortunately.
That's not really an
Betraying
explanation
it.
for the betrayal.
Yeah.
That's
Blanket it
like,
might be on the countdown. Just the blanket, blaying it.
Yeah, that's
This in
true.
it.
Yeah, that's a favorite of mine. So since I'm doing the countdown, chances are that will be on there.
I'm
But we
worried
don't know
about
yet.
you because you're a little winded. Are you ready to do a Back
Yeah.
in My Day? You're out of practice. You don't have the stamina for these things that you used to
Right,
have.
Brian Windedhorst. Yeah, I'm ready.
And now, It is time to take a trip down memory lane. Here's your guy, Greg Cody, with Back in My Day.
Reviews. This is a true story, and you've all experienced something similar, and constantly, I dare say. So, I go to get a haircut at my local chain store barber the other day, and before I'm even home, there's an email from the place waiting for me with the subject line, "Thank you for your visit. How was it?" "Your review matters," it goes on. "Share your experience on Google Reviews here." Seriously? I just spent $23 not counting tip for a 20-minute cut, and now you want a personal endorsement? I haven't yet seen published the review I sent, which read, "My stylist appeared drunk and I left with an unwanted mohawk." No actual review I had done, if I had done one, would have said, "I walked in, waited a bit, got the haircut I asked for, paid the amount due, and left." It was a typically unremarkable, soulless commercial exchange, just the kind I prepare. Reviews, please. Back in my day, once you closed a deal, nobody cared how you thought it went. There was no Google reviews with which to brag or complain. You didn't like your haircut, you complained to your wife and waited for it to grow in. Now you can't buy a cup of coffee or a book of stamps without being asked to share your experience. And heaven forbid Amazon drops a package on your stoop and you ignore the calls for a review. They hound you like a landlord chasing past due rent. Everybody wants a review. Heck, my neighbors happen to have a son in the hospital. The other day I asked, "How's the boy doing?" and he tells me. And the next day I get an email from my neighbor asking how was my experience and could I leave a review. So I did. Quote, "Frank hesitated slightly before answering when I first asked, making me feel a bit defensive as if I were prying," I wrote on Google Reviews. "Plus, he borrows stuff he doesn't return. He still has my hoe." I tell you what, places where I do business, listen up. Unless you hear otherwise from me directly, assume my transaction was stultifyingly mundane, yet unremarkably satisfactory in its way. If it was top tier, great. I'm going to tell you before I leave. If it was abysmal and left me angry, you'll hear from my lawyers McGillicuddy, Pettifogger, and Shyster. Who trusts reviews anyway, other than my wife? Here's the dirty secret. If she reads me a glowing review for Carmine's wood-fired pizza, I assume Carmine himself wrote it under a pseudonym. If it's a vicious review, I assume it was written by his bitter arch-rival up the street, Enzo's Dough Hut. Retailers, it's very simple. You had something I wanted, I bought it, you got paid. It's called commerce. End of transaction. Quit hectoring me for a review. I'm Greg Cody, and that's how it was back in my day.
So true.
We're back, Jack.
So true.
Give that one a good review.
Yeah, Tony, I have to say to you something here, letting you see behind the curtain here on when I know that Greg Cody is nailing it. You laugh the way that Izzy laughs at Greg Cody because out of nowhere there's a pettifogger in there and you're like, wait a minute,
What was that?
What was happening there? What,
I like the soulless transaction. That was funny.
Thank you.
You laugh, but you laugh. I can tell that you're laughing at him the same way you'd be laughing at him in your car when you were driving around 10 years ago listening to this show because but that's how people like
100%.
that is when I know that Greg Cody is at his very best when you are delighting people who are rooting for you to be funny and are like, yeah, Dan's not going to like that pettifogger. Like, that's dangerous. We got the Epstein files. Where's he going with that? Like, you got we don't want it. Like, why would a lawyer
Enzo's Dough Hut.
Thank you.
I don't know, but he's back there and he's beaming. He's just radiant listening
I
to
miss
you.
back in my day.
Still hasn't brought me back my hoe.
He still has my hoe.
That was my personal favorite line. Well, there's something I learned from Edwin Pope, our great mentor. Every column he would write would educate me in a way because there would be a word I didn't know. I don't know whether he did it intentionally or not, but pettifogger is a word.
Scary word.
It has nothing to do with pedophile.
But what is the word? I've never heard that word.
Pettifogger is someone like a cheat, or like it would be a synonym for shyster. You know, just some. I don't know the exact definition offhand, but if you look it up, I think it has to do with somebody you wouldn't trust or something of that nature.
An inferior legal practitioner, especially one who deals with petty cases or employs dubious practices. So Saul Goodman, essentially.
Well, but that would be an unusual name to have in the middle of your law firm's
exactly.
name. Pettifogger and Shyster.
That's the joke.
And why,
Someone should come back and say, this tested poorly.
And why is McGillicuddy on the front end of that? If it's McGillicuddy,
They're always there.
Like, did you know that McGillicuddy was the head of the law firm that also has a Shyster and a Pettifogger? Because I didn't. I thought McGillicuddy was straight. I thought your Dr. McGillicuddy and your lawyer McGillicuddy and your liquor McGillicuddy. I thought all of those things.
It's the fourth brother, Dan.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's
they're
in
brothers.
a different law firm.
Yeah, the McGillicuddy, my doctor, and McGillicuddy, my attorney, they're different people, but brothers.
There's another thing that I wanted to ask you because you brought up reviews. I don't know when the movie review started, okay? I sort of associate the televised movie review with Siskel and Ebert, but they were writing for their newspapers before that. But when and how did people know that movies were good or not good before the review? Like before?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
But it would just be word of mouth,
Yeah.
right? So it would be kind of like, that's not a great way. That's not a
Get
great
home,
way
call
to...
your friend, and be like, hey, I saw a great flick.
Really? I saw that movie. It sucked. That's
Yeah.
the whole point. That's what I was talking about yesterday. You have these Rotten Tomatoes, like everybody's got an opinion. Nobody's got a good one. Everybody's like, oh, this was great. Oh, this sucked. It's always a battle.
Yeah, I mean, years and years ago, if there was a good movie in the theater, it would get more and more money each week. Now, the peak of the movie is the opening weekend.
Yeah.
And it's always downhill after that.
I imagine that over Super Bowl week here, and Fred Warner's going to join us. We're going to postpone Chris Mad Dog Russo until tomorrow as the Super Bowl week gets hyped up over Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday more than it does the first couple of days. But Zach Lowe, in the middle of this, is going to be the trade deadline stuff, the James Harden stuff that's making an appearance. You're going to see this ratchet up, and we'll see if big names get traded or not. But Zach Lowe is saying on the conversations he's had with every team that's interested in Giannis, quote, they're all a little bit skeptical that the Bucks are going to move him now. One front office person of one of those teams called this a sideshow, saying this is just for show. They aren't going to trade him. 80-20, they keep him, is what I keep hearing. So he's saying 80-20. Was it Windhorst that was saying 51-49?
Yep.
So that's a big move. That Windhorst. Now, Zaslow says none of these people know anything. I don't believe these two people don't know anything. I do believe they're talking to people. I also believe they're consistently being lied to.
Well, he said also that he's being told by the front office executives they think 80-20, but he still thinks it's 50-50. So ultimately, I don't know where it stands. Is it 50-50, 51-49, 80-20? No matter what the deal is, that he'd have the best
where
deal.
it stands is they're all lying to him because no one would have any reason to tell Zach Lowe the truth there.
Also, he said sideshow. What's the difference? Is it a dog and pony show or is it a sideshow?
Well, tell me what a sideshow is, because I know what a dog and pony show is. I don't actually know what a sideshow is. Was there something near the circus nearby? Was there
What about a freak show? Where's a freak show falling here?
It's a sideshow. A freak show is a sideshow.
No, I think a freak show is Showtime.
I think a sideshow is the thing that's not as big. There's a little something going on over here, too.
I think it's sort of the guest house behind the circus tent. I don't think that's where the big shows are. I think it's a show on the side.
I think the main show is the lion is jumping through a flaming hoop, and the sideshow is the seal balancing something on his nose.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You just took me from a circus to now I'm at a sequarium.
It's a sideshow.
No, he's right. He's right. There is a seal like on a drum who's holding up a ball with his nose and he's trying to
but that's
balance
pretty
it.
impressive too. Yeah, thank you. But that's also impressive. I don't think of that as a sideshow. I think you have to go outside the tent, and then the sideshow is just somebody guessing your weight in a nearby carnival booth.
Like the strongest man on earth
Yeah, but
who
it's
lifts
also
like the dumbbells with
but
their
it's
face.
pathetic. Like it's amazing that a seal's got a ball on its nose and the lion's jumping through a hoop.
I'd pay attention to that seal.
Yeah, I don't think these things would be together. I think the lion might eat the seal. You got a problem on your hands that no kid wants to see at the circus.
Right.
Jeremy, can you get me some information, though, on the sideshow so that we can get a formal definition for what Zach Lowe is reporting, that this Giannis thing might be 80-20 according to executives who are lying to him, but 50-50 according to him?
I love who the guy hearing it doesn't believe it. He's being told 80-20. He's like, but I take that info, and I'm telling you 50-50.
I'm being lied to.
Like
I'm being lied to
the
so
one
often.
getting the information.
That's right. It's so good. That's right. No,
you would think he would believe it.
No, but that's what. No, what's happening is he knows they're lying to him. They know they're lying to him. So he just takes the number and he moves it because it's a
I'll tell you
formula.
what they're telling me, but I want this known. I don't believe them.
Yeah, why does the reporter just say, I heard that they're talking to this team and they're talking to this team, but I don't believe
So
them?
you know that he's talking to people.
There it is.
And in real life, a lion is never in the company of a seal.
That's correct. That's why it doesn't work.
So it would be fascinating to see how the lion reacted to that seal.
It would eat the seal.
Probably hungry.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I think the lion would go, what's that? Give me a hyena. Give me my usual lunch.
Oh, look, a hyena that's not moving.
A small show or stall at an exhibition, fair, or circus. Alt definition, a minor or diverting incident or issue, especially one that distracts attention from something more important.
Right. So I know what it means, the formal definition. I just don't know what the origins of it would physically look like if we were to attend a sideshow. I do think it's funny that the author of Pride of a Lion thinks that lions eat hyenas, that they're fed hyenas by circus workers.
Well, the hyena is the arch enemy of the lion in the wild. They're arch enemies.
Roy just told me they don't eat hyenas. They will kill them because they're kind of like, they look at them as rivals.
That's right. The Pride of a Lion. He's the author of 2 books about a lion.
I just think of Lion King.
The packs of hyenas will attack a lion. A lion one-on-one against a hyena, a lion will win every time. But if there's 8 or 10 hyenas attacking a lion,
again,
then you have a good battle.
Lions don't eat hyenas, though, and you, the expert on lions here.
I believe lions will eat hyenas.
The internet is saying that they kill them because they're rivals, but they rarely eat them. They eat the zebras and the lower end animals.
Rarely eat them.
Rarely doesn't mean never. Okay, the lion eats the innards.
It's like quinoa.
The lion will eat your internal intestines before you're even dead. So when the lion kills a hyena by biting its neck, it then goes right to the gut and starts eating the innards while the hyena is still writhing in pain alive.
Like a zebra is like fast food. It's like the good stuff. It's like, oh, I love this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like hyena, I'll eat that if that's all that's left.
Exactly. I think that's exactly right. But don't say lions never eat hyenas because it's not true. Get McGill on the phone. He'll tell you.
Don't say it.
Put it on the poll, please. Are hyenas as a meal like quinoa?
To lions.
To the lions. Yes, thank you. I was getting there. I'm just sort of stupefied by where it is that we've ended up here.
Fast food.
Yeah.
A sideshow historically features human oddity exhibits, or so-called freak shows,
Bearded lady.
preserved
That bearded lady's a good
specimens, real or fabricated, live animal acts, burlesque or strip shows,
Baby.
actually or ostensibly dangerous stunts, sort of like Chris Cody swallowing a sword.
Bearded lady, big time freak.
You can't break. Come on, sucker.
Oh, no. Put it on the poll, please. Is the bearded lady a big-time freak?
Maybe not.
Yeah, we could probably leave that one off.
Minor
Maybe
penalty,
leave
2
that
minutes
one
for
off.
explaining the show.
Accept the
Could be.
Accepted. Don't ask where that poll question is later.
Zaz, how dare he?
Right?
How dare he?
I think he got scared.
What an
When you're
amateur.
scared of a joke, you gotta just.
he was amused by himself, and then he broke, and he's just amused that he gets to be Zaz all the time. And then
I think that was a fear break.
it was just terrible. No, I don't.
Yeah, amateur.
Bad hour for Zaz. He got by Tony early and also breaks. Mike, you got to get the notepad out.
Big time meeting after the show, in which we bury Zaz for everything that just happened there. He was so amused by himself that he giggle snorted. It's not at somebody else's joke. That's bad enough. Like, that's bad enough to break character on somebody else's joke. It's that he amused himself so much that he couldn't stay in character.
He dropped in the bearded lady, which was a great line. And Tony has the follow-up, like, oh, you really bearded? And then that's where he got caught up. Like, do I want to go down this path?
Again, though, Zach.
It's better as just a throwaway line joke than, like, let's stay here.
I'll
and
double
really,
down on
let's
him,
really
though.
talk about it.
I was this close to saying it like 10 minutes ago, by the way. I just didn't want to be the one to say it.
Zach Lowe is unquestionably exceptional at what he does. His information is good. But everything we just did there indicates to you how silly some of this stuff is between 80-20, 51-49, and no one actually knows whether Giannis is going to be traded until Shams reports it. And he's the only one who's going to report it. Like, it's not going to break in Milwaukee. It's not going to break someone else. And now that's the reason that I don't know how it is that Woj and Shams do their jobs. Why is Zaz in the control room? How, when I was trying to penalize him by putting him in the penalty box, how is it that he ended up in the control room and looking a bit like Ichabod Crane right now in terms of his facial features? I understand I'm making an incredibly old reference.
Hit reference, dude.
Bizarre reference.
I got it, Dan. Headless Horseman. Keep it moving.
Ichabod Crane.
He looks. Please find for me. Ichabod Crane was skinnier, but find for me just a photo.
Stay with this stuff. It's killing. It's a good reference.
First appeared in 1820, Ichabod Crane.
200 years.
It's the pointy nose. It's the
Careful.
Aging in this industry is, it's tough. It's tough. Quick, say something about Kai Cenat. Just say Drewski. Just say it into the microphone. Just say Drewski.
1820 is
That's
amazing.
playing solitaire?
1820 is amazing. It's amazing. I'm always making fun of Cody for how old his references are.
1820.
Just shoehorn Doja Cat into a conversation. Just show him you still got it.
All in? I'm a fan of the Jets. I'm a fan of the Jets. Oh, no. The Jets. The Jets. Why this team? The Jets! The Jets!
Stugotz, what's the matter, buddy?
I mean, Greg, just one time. 40 years I've been rooting for this team, and just one time I wanted my team to play in that big game in that beautiful dome in Los Angeles.
Dome? What about the elements? Back in my day, we didn't play in a dome.
Let me tell you, back in my day, we considered football to be an honorable game. We didn't have to pass the ball every single play, and that's how we did it back in my day. It's the cold in December and sweltering two-a-days. It's embracing occasional punts, and don't get me started on instant replay. Now we're cooking with gas. Watch out. I'm not done, by the way. Let me tell you, back in my day, there was no showboating. We respected the game. We sat on a stoop and let the radio play, 'cause that's how we did it back in my day. It's the wishbone I wish for. It's a toss to Red Grange. It's a first down without a taunt. Playing the game the right way. Whoa! No retractable roofs. I'm talking frozen tundras and ice bowls. No back Brooklyn. That's why they call it football weather. Bud Grant and the Purple People Eaters, ladies and gentlemen. That's how they played the game back in my day. It's Len Dawson enjoying a smoke and a brew during a game. Hank Stram wearing a sports coat. Legalize the clothesline and bring back drop kicks while you're at it. I'm Greg Cody, and that's how it was back in my day. Ba-da-ba-diddly-up. Bop. Ba-da-ba-diddly-up. Bop. Bop. That kind of thing.
Thanks for the lift, bro.
No problem.
Yo, what is this? Is this the musical? Turn it down, man. Like, I'm so tired of it. Musicals are corny. The shit is corny. Like, me tiene hasta aquí with this musical stuff, man. Just turn it down. I want to just chill, man, for real.
Folks, listen up. You think you've got the boldest take of the week? Or would you like love advice from Greg Cody? We want to do something fun for Valentine's Day with Greg Cody. If you have the boldest take of the week or you want love advice, send in those hot takes or send in those questions. Call 305-486-GOTS.
We're going to get to some Roger Goodell sound here in a second, but I did find, I don't know that I'm going to say funny, but when I saw the ESPN headlines on ESPN.com, and they put them in the order of interest and importance, Goodell, Belichick will eventually be a Hall of Famer is, and I understand how and why this happens, but think about how silly it is that this happens. It is above NFL to look into Tish's Epstein files connections. So you have an NFL owner who's in the Epstein files all over the place. Like he made, I think, what were the movies he made? He made, he made the Tom Cruise movie Risky Business, for example. It was one of the movies.
Really?
That Tish helped produce. He didn't direct it, but
great movie.
He's made. I think did he make Forrest Gump? I think.
Really?
I think he made Forrest Gump. Maybe you guys can check that for me
did.
to make sure. But it's because of the difficulty of talking in sports about anything Epstein related.
Also, Soul Man. You remember that flick?
Yeah.
You know what that one was about?
Would never get made today.
Ooh, Equalizer 2 and 3.
Oh, Equalizer 2 was great. Equalizer 3 was fun too, based in Italy.
the larger point I'm making, that Goodell saying that Belichick will eventually get into the Hall of Fame in no world should be higher in terms of news value than the other story. But good luck finding people able to talk in the media about the idea that the New York Giants, in the sports media, that the owner of the New York Giants needs to be run out as soon as there's a factor. Like, you got to ask Goodell about that. He was asked about it, among other things. And if any of this is even any semblance of true, this has to be a scandal that engulfs the owner of the New York Giants.
Well, I think so far his explanation, and I'm boiling it down, don't take this as a direct quote, but that legal adult went off me, coach, was basically his excuse. That grown woman was at play there. It wasn't some of the other stuff, which is a real Frank Reynolds, It's Always Sunny excuse.
The Goodell sound from yesterday that a lot of people are noticing. See if you notice here what happens when Roger Goodell is talking about Bad Bunny's speech at the Grammys. Did you watch the Grammys, Greg?
I did.
What did you like about the Grammys? Was there anything in there that you liked?
I liked most of it. There was some weird stuff. I mean, when I saw Justin Bieber's performance, I didn't even hear the song because I'm just mesmerized by what this guy is or isn't wearing and why he's doing it. It was just bizarre. And then Lady Gaga's in a wicker basket helmet. I mean, they were just.
Those were two great performances, I thought.
They were great.
Bieber and Gaga.
They were memorable.
Why was Bieber in his underwear?
Laying it all bare.
Worked. Yeah, it worked. And the shots to his wife.
That's what he wore?
Yes.
Yeah, it was literally a stripped down performance.
It's called art.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
Zaz, you should recreate that.
Cold in there.
I think that was honestly like Bieber's best
Maybe I
moment
will.
in a really long time.
Couldn't agree more. One of the coolest performances he's had on an award show.
Yeah, that
for
album
sure.
was a bit of a comeback for him, and that was, a really cool moment for a dude that's kind of needed some like positive stuff out there.
Right. What do you think of Bruno Mars? He's also making a comeback.
Yeah, it's more the same. I like Bruno. Bruno's fun, always. I like the Grammys. I think the Grammys are always like
thought it was
pop
great.
culture encapsulations. I like being confused. Who's this person? I like discovering new ones.
Yeah.
I kind of embrace sometimes that I feel a little bit old watching it. It forces me to set my game up. And I got other acts that aren't on the televised portion of the broadcast that I'm super into. I'm a big Turnstile guy. Saw that they won awards. I like the clips. I like that they had, talk about the Epstein files, although he kind of knew that he was on a plane with Elon.
I am not the person to talk, given that I just made a reference that was more than 200 years old. But old guy watching the Grammys and saying, as an observation, what are they wearing? Is just perfect. Like, what? Bieber, the artist. Yeah, the music. Yeah, that one. Why is he in his
Okay.
Wears.
Okay. I thought about that the same way I think watching the Met Gala. Okay. I get that it's performance art. I get all that. It doesn't mean that I can't make fun of a woman wearing a wicker.
But you didn't make
basket.
fun of it. It was your only observation when I asked you what you think of the Grammys. Those two people were wearing those things.
Right. That's what stands out to me. When I think of the Grammys, I think of what visually stands out. One was Justin Bieber, what he wasn't wearing, and the other was Gaga's hat. That's
Really?
just me.
I thought
Yeah.
Bad Bunny winning Album of the Year at the first ever Spanish language Album of the Year and having those moments. I also saw an IG reel that has me convinced he does indeed wear a bulletproof vest because of all the threats that he's been receiving, because he was kind of moving strangely at that. Like the way that it was tailored, it was kind of weird. And there's this whole IG reel that he's like wearing bulletproof vests now because of all the threats that he's receiving.
I thought it was interesting watching Trevor Noah try to get
Trevor?
Trevor, isn't that his name?
Yes.
What's up, Trevor?
But he's from South Africa, so I think
No, he was.
they pronounce it Trevor.
He was trying to get Bad Bunny to perform, even a snippet, which would have been against his NFL contract with the Super Bowl. And he
Is that
finally-
right?
Yeah, and he finally did. He
It was a bit. It was a whole bit he did where he's like, "Hey, can you perform?" He's like, "I can't," and he's like, and then Trevor.
like, he
started-
really can't?
Trevor started singing his songs, trying to get him to sing.
And he sang like 2 or 3 words of his song. So I hope that doesn't.
Put it on the poll, please,
Get him in
at
trouble.
Le Batard Show. Do you think Bad Bunny will wear a bulletproof vest during his Super Bowl performance? Because you would assume not.
Wow, that's dark.
Too much gyrating happening. You can't wear a bulletproof vest while
well,
gyrating.
but I'm surprised by what Mike's saying there, and unsurprised.
Again, alleged. That's not confirmed.
Yeah, it was a highly convincing IG reel. And that's where 90% of Americans get their news these days.
Yeah, that's correct. And in these troubled times, when Roger Goodell is being asked if there will be ICE operations around the Super Bowl this week, you can believe just about anything when it comes to safety and people being afraid for their lives. But let's get Roger Goodell's thoughts specifically on Bad Bunny having politics in his speech about ICE at the Grammys.
Listen, Bad Bunny and I think that was demonstrated last night, one of the great artists in the world. And that's one of the reasons we chose him. But the other reason is he understood the platform he was on, and that this platform is used to unite people and to be able to bring people together with their creativity, with their talents, and to be able to use this moment to do that. And I think artists in the past have done that. I think Bad Bunny understands that, and I think he'll have a great performance.
At the end, he cleaned it up. But how did he pronounce his name at the beginning?
Bad Benny.
To be fair to Raj, by the way, Benito's his name.
Bad
so
Benny.
maybe he's introduced him as Benito, right? You're not gonna introduce you as your stage name. It's embarrassing. Come
For
on.
sure, a mistake he made that can be cleaned up that way.
Bad Benny.
His real name's not Bad Bunny?
Bad Benny.
He did get it right at the end, and again, I'm in no position to make fun of anybody getting names wrong.
Bad Benny.
I can't believe I made an Ichabod Crane reference. I'm still reeling from that.
It's the best part of the show, Dan. Don't be upset.
I have in front of me Sam Amick, okay? He's an excellent reporter as well. He says, as of Monday evening, the offers coming the Bucks' way for the Greek Freak were still believed to be so underwhelming in the eyes of rival executives and agents that this saga looked likely to extend into the summer. That reporting comes off of the heels of what it is that Zach Lowe said.
Jonathan Zach Lowe.
He's cooking.
I have no opinion on it.
You get it?
I'm warming up to it, though.
Thank you.
It
grows on
Yeah,
you.
no, it was funny.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Jonathan Zach Lowe?
Yeah.
Have you checked out since you're back in my day? Because you really hit
Been a
it
while.
You hit it out of the park with your back in my day, and reputationally over the years,
Historically,
generally, once you what Tony just did. Now that was the hand coming down as a plane crashing. What generally happens if I go to back in my day too early in the show, what I get the rest of the show is something in the form of Jonathan Zach Lowe, and then you're amused with
So
yourself.
satisfied.
Then 30 minutes pass, he hasn't said anything.
It's just like bonus show for him, is what it is.
I got a material left. I mean, I could tell you all about Dick Hammer.
Go on.
Let's follow this thread.
Dick Hammer was an actor in the late 50s to 60s who portrayed the Marlboro Man on TV cigarette ads. Ironically, not really, Dick Hammer died of lung cancer. Not linking that to cigarettes, just sort of presuming. Dick Hammer is the late great-grandfather of Super Bowl quarterback Sam Darnold. How about that? I ain't making it up. You could look it up.
No, I know. We've talked about it before. You just wanted to say Dick Hammer.
I love that name.
We have talked. I mean,
What a ghost?
What is that sound?
I
Is
don't
that the
know.
ghost of
I'm not
Dick
hitting
Hammer?
anything.
Is
I know,
that
it's creepy.
Is that the
What
ghost
is
of
that?
Dick Hammer?
Might be haunting us.
You've got to admit that you just wanted to say Dick Hammer.
Right.
If his father or his grandfather had merely been the former Marlboro Man, that too would have been interesting. But you just wanted to say Dick
Right.
Hammer.
Hammer time.
There's a couple interesting things about Sam Darnold. Just none of them are Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Well, Mike McDonald is the world's least interesting
Right?
person.
He might be the most boring. We've done it. Ladies and gentlemen, we found the most boring dude.
It's a boring off. Who's more boring? We got to be able to find somebody
Like,
more boring.
Vrabel's got some juice to him. I like that. But Drake May, pretty boring.
Sam Darnold, Mike McDonald combo, quarterback coach. Wow.
I mean, Belichick Brady was pretty bad. As
at least
just
Brady,
in terms
like,
of
had his
talkers,
face.
Movie star, good looks.
No, but talkers,
and all that.
as talkers, as
Not this bad though. At least Belichick would at least, we're on to Cincinnati. Like he'd at least give us something that we would replay.
You think Mike McDonald is appreciably more boring as a talker than Bill Belichick?
I think the defense that Bill Belichick would play against press conferences was interesting. Whereas Mike
after
McDonald,
20 years, because you got so bored with everything he was doing that after 20 years, you can't say
Mike
Bill
McDonald is like actually answering questions, but it's just like nothing I want to listen to. Like there were some clips of Mike McDonald from Radio Row, their media day last night. There's nothing.
I can't believe
even
it.
remotely interesting.
It's staggering. It's staggering that he doesn't say interesting things outside of the fact that he doesn't see his son outside of 30 minutes a week.
Oh wait, damn that one.
That one was interesting, but the way that he delivered it wasn't
was on
exactly.
accident.
Yeah, it was a mistake, and he's learned from it already.
The most interesting thing about Mike McDonald to me is that the Scottish surname McDonald, he doesn't capitalize the D in Donald, not unlike the great late comic actor Norm Macdonald. He didn't capitalize the D in Donald either. Very unusual, but here you have two guys choosing not to do that. It interests me.
See, even the stories about him are boring.
The etymology of not capitalizing the D in McDonald interests me, and to my knowledge, the Seahawks coach has never been asked that in a press conference.
Well, Zaslow, I see you smiling, and I think I know why you're smiling. Can you tell the audience? I want to write it down. I'm going to write down why I think you're smiling, and we'll see if Greg Cody is in any way embarrassed by this. Go ahead.
I just find it interesting that, Greg, you don't even pretend to listen to this show when you're not here.
I said that last week is what I wrote down on the piece of paper because Zaslow was smiling. So he's come with Dick Hammer, and McDonald spells it with a small D.
A little D, yeah.
And so it's recycled stuff that we've said a week ago.
I missed that show. I apologize. Normally, I listen to every minute of the 6-7 hours of show you do every day.
We were really interested in it when Zaz said it for the first time, and we all learned it together a week ago.
He gave us the Norm Macdonald comp, though. That was more than what Zaz did.
Just like Zaz did.
Mike.
Zaz said, "Isn't this peculiar?" and didn't add anything to the conversation. You leveled up, my friend.
I think I did the Dick Hammer thing a few weeks ago too.
What are you doing there? Because if we're doing ghost stuff, I think we should go.
I'm not doing anything.
Okay, well.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Yeah, no, he's right. Look at that. No, he's right. He's right.
Preview
Greg,
monitor.
Look, you don't need to listen to the show when you're not here, Greg, but you need to listen to it while we're doing it. You pointing at a monitor that is a screen that hasn't been put on our televisions yet because it's a lie and a seal and terrible artificial intelligence because Lewis has a toy is not the way to do the show here.
Like, hold on. Like, Greg, you've been here a lot longer than I have. Do you know what each monitor here means?
No.
No chance. No shot. What
Should
are you
I?
kidding? No, don't learn anything.
I'm not a technician.
No, don't learn anything. What I was beginning to say
It is a little tough. Gotta be honest.
Go to the sound, please, because when I think of ghostly stuff, I want you guys did hear, right, that the NFL is now signing up Madrid long term. The Dolphins went to Madrid. The Dolphins had a ghostly sound emerge.
I don't have a ghost sound here.
Let's go, Dolphins.
Yeah, Chris, it's a different ghost, not the one you're pretending that you're not
Right, I
playing
mean,
He's
now.
not
I
playing.
can't
I don't know
control
what you're talking about. There's a ghost haunting the show.
They're playing. Which is more ghostly?
The Spanish galleon, Dan Marino for sure.
Are you sure? I think both of these things are pretty ghostly. You think that Dan Marino as a peg leg coming through the fog?
We talked about these.
Coming through the fog in a haunted 1820s where Ichabod Crane
He's reading Ichabod Crane. It just came out.
There's a
bestseller.
There's a fog there, and I feel like on that physically. Who do you imagine being on that pirate boat filled with haunting ghosts? Because I think Jaime Jaquez has to be on it as a conquistador, right? Just physically, the way that his face looks like he's got to be on that boat that's making its way through the harbor. Why are you smiling, Zaslow? What's so funny?
I mean, he played in front of crowds for 20 years. He doesn't understand. Like, he's never heard the chant, "Let's go Dolphins."
It is really easy, right? It is an easy chant to do. What do you make of the fact?
Probably the easiest.
Do you think he regrets it at all? Do you think it stays with him in any way that he went out there and no? You guys are just shaking.
He doesn't even know he did it. Let's be honest.
Wait a minute. He's 60. He's not 160.
It's not about that.
I think he thinks he nailed it, doesn't know we ever mocked it. Like, he thinks just perfect.
No, come on. You think these guys are surrounded by so many yes people at all times?
Yeah.
Good job, Dano.
Good job, boss.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That's going to catch on, Dan.
Dan the man.
Really? That's what you guys think?
You're so right, Dan.
So you're not doing that, Chris? You're not
Big
doing
pat
that?
on the back from Kangemi.
Greg, what the hell are we going to do with the Rooney Rule? How do you fix something that doesn't appear like it can be fixed? When Roger Goodell is being asked, he's saying we've got a lot of work to do. It's been 20 years.
Right.
That they've had this rule, this cycle. Now, I would understand how anybody listening to this, right, would say to themselves some form of, what, every cycle I have to hire a minority? I'm obligated, or this is going to come up? But the commissioner is putting his voice on, yeah, I know this is a problem. I know we have a lot of work to do. I know that the thing that I don't think he's doing it just because of optics. I think he is trying to figure out how to fix this. And what just ends up happening every single time is a white owner ends up getting into interviews with people he either knows or commonalities, or most of his circle is also other white people. And so what ends up happening is the recommendations that come from people who just have commonalities. It doesn't have to be an outright racism as much as it is just a problem that keeps a race from getting into a position of power more often, because so many of the interviews are clearly bogus. Like, it's just bullshit interviews that honestly are insulting 20 years in to people who are going in when they know they don't have a chance whatsoever to get the interview. So the only reason they take the interview is so they can practice interviewing.
Right, which in and of itself is not a terrible thing. And another advantage of it is if you're a minority candidate for head coach, for example, and you interview in this cycle with two different teams, let's say, a year from now, you have that on your resume. Like you have been interviewed for the head coaching position, which increases the likelihood that you'll continue to be interviewed because you've had that experience before. So in the long term, I think it does help, even when you're 0 for 10 hiring a minority head coach in this particular cycle. You've given the opportunity to be interviewed to so many minority coaches that in the long term, that doesn't hurt. That helps.
Okay, but it's not good enough, right?
It's not good enough.
And if Goodell knows it, do you think he's just saying, you don't think, I believe him. I actually, I am in a position where I tend to be just generally skeptical of all power. Period. But I do believe that he's looking at this and he's like, yeah, I've got a problem. I don't know how to fix this. I can't fix it. How do I fix this? It's obviously a problem, and 20 years in, it shouldn't be this kind of problem where last week you're on with us and you're telling us ridiculously that Mike McDaniel ends up satisfying the Rooney Rule quota because one of his parents was black.
Really, I mean, I think the only way that it gets fixed, and it's not really a fix, it's just reality, is the owners like this. Like these owners, it's all older gentlemen, you know? These owners have to essentially go away and give way to a younger generation of owners who have had more interactions with minorities. And until that happens, I don't know how it gets fixed.
But there's progress.
Yeah, of
It
course.
doesn't feel like it. I'm sure everybody imagined with the introduction of the Rooney Rule, some more minority hires would have happened. But some of the incentives that they put in place for these teams, those are really working.
They're draft picks, right?
Yeah, look at what the Niners and Rams keep doing. Now, they're blessed to have the guy at head coach that crowns the next guy, right? King-making head coaches. They are making some of the most progressive hires because when Rob Saleh gets hired, I get a third-round pick. I'll replace him with Raheem Morris because people want the dude that stands next to the dude. Sean McVay, the very same way.
I think, and I don't know the answer to this, but what also hurts black candidates from getting these head coaching jobs is it's like they're always defensive coaches, right? Like there's never the black offensive coordinator. Like, are there any black offensive coordinators? I mean, I saw Eric
Byron
Bieniemy
Leftwich was
right. I
years
saw
ago.
Eric Bieniemy just got a job, but he's never called the plays for Kansas City. He's always been Andy Reid. Like, are there ever? So essentially, what I'm saying is, it's really only 50%. Like you're cutting it in half. You know, it's not. There aren't black candidates on the offensive and defense side. It's really only the defensive side.
Well,
and that's weird,
but
right?
I'm not sure how weird it is, given that the offensive masterminds, whoever you associate with that, Andy Reid or Shanahan, or I'm talking about Mike Shanahan, not Kyle Shanahan, whoever you associate with the people who teach offense, none of them are black. The people who have had that power have been white. But the point Mike's making is a super interesting one, because do you realize how bad a problem has to be in that sport when you're salary capped, all right? And everyone is looking for any advantage they can get anywhere because everyone is equal under how much money you can pay. They're incentivizing. We'll give you draft picks. It's like the most valuable thing. We'll give you draft picks. Just do this. Please help us here. And they still can't fix it. Like, you still got the commissioner league. Like, it's a fairly extraordinary gesture for a commissioner of a league to say, I'll give you draft picks if you just hire some minorities. And yet still, first day of the Super Bowl week, he's giving a press conference where he's like, I can't get this fixed. What do I have to do to get this fixed? What more can I do? Like, these people are looking for advantages everywhere. If these people will cheat to get a draft pick if they know they will not get caught. All of them will cheat if I give them a valuable draft pick for free. And it's incentivized, and it's still a problem. That is a bit crazy, isn't it, given how competitive these people are? Mm-hmm. Like, and that McVay is known as sort of gaming the system because he's like, sure, sure. I'm
look at their staffs, their position coaches. Like they kind of built this into their talent acquisition. They have less respect for the cap because they know that every once in a while we can count on one of those third-round draft picks. They're doing it right. Now, you need to have prolonged success. You need to have a head coach that has that reputation. But I do think there are some really good examples of it working.
When you say that, though, Mike, I don't think people totally understand how rare it is for someone McVay's age to have the stability of confidence of, yeah, I got this job for as long as I want it. I know I got this job. I know I'm good at this. I'm not on a hot seat. I'm never going to be on a hot seat. Like, everyone knows I'm good at this. I can hire whoever I want because I know I'm good at this. So I've had no shackles on me whatsoever because I'm not, oh, shit, I'm going to lose my job in 2 years. Oh, they just blew out my GM. I don't have any support. Like, there are so few guys in that sport. Like, it's what you need leadership to have in order for this to be possible. So you have the combination of incentivizing with draft picks, but you also need to have the young leader because older guys are going to be influenced by they came up through the system and they do it the way that everyone else has done it. So the institutional stuff is going to be embedded in how it is they do it because it's how they learn to do it, and all their white coaches from beforehand are always the guys who they're learning offense from because the black guys aren't the offensive coordinators very often. The idea of that is crazy to me. But getting back to what it is that Mike Ryan was saying before about Mike McDonald, in a Super Bowl where we love the sport by itself, but you need storylines in order to make the week interesting. You need personalities you care about. You need Sam Darnold's got an interesting story. I don't know that as a quarterback he's someone necessarily that you're super interested in hearing talk or perform. the centerpieces of this Super Bowl in terms of stardom, given that, the Patriots skill position guys we learned about this year. Smith-Njigba, we learned this year is the best receiver in football, but we don't know much about him as a personality. When you look at these teams, interesting stars are not something that you see a lot of. I'm not saying there aren't good players, and I'm not saying there aren't good stories, but just somebody is a personality that you got to check out at Media Day.
Yeah,
like there's
Mac Hollins.
Right.
Diggs has some interesting stuff around him, certainly some controversial stuff around him too. Has Cardi B as a partner. He's had an illustrious career, but no, usually the Super Bowls have a little bit more juice, more star power.
I think that's part of the issue that you have of people being slightly less interested in the results of this Super Bowl. I think it's at least in part because it doesn't make sense to me at all that you would have two teams with longer odds than any that you have ever seen in a Super Bowl, 60-1 and 80-1 before the season started, and that people would be less interested in that. Like, I thought the underdog and the surprise was one of the best things about sports, both of those things. Sam Darnold is an underdog. The Patriots obviously aren't as an organization, but this team is.
Usually is, and that's always like what they sell you before every season. Like, your team has a chance. We have parity, but this is a league that has been highly dependent on like four faces for the last 30 years. Like Manning, Brady, Belichick, Rodgers occasionally gets in there. Mahomes was able to get it handed down from Brady, matched up in an AFC championship game, matched up in a Super Bowl with him. And this is a league that is in transition right now, trying to find the next faces that are going to run the place.
Well, are they actually the underdogs? It's the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed.
Oh, but I'm just saying 60-1
Preseason
odds, 81 odds before the season. They're two teams we didn't expect to get there. And so you could do 1 seed and 2 seed, and you'd be right. But in having no stars, in having, I guess, not enough storylines, the football has to carry you. But when I think of the best things in sports, the top of the list to me on that is patriotism. Like, not regional identity, but national identity. It's why the World Cup is such a giant. Like, patriotism to me around your sports makes it the best. It's why the greatest upset in the history of United States sports is the 1980 Olympic hockey team, because it had both things. It had patriotism and the second thing. I thought underdog or surprise was like the second best thing of what do people want with their sports. You guys can nominate something else if you've got something else to nominate, if you think that there's something else that you put second. But I thought that was the order. If you want me to get swept up in something where I'm emotional, where I am doing something, okay, in front of my television that I don't do in normal life, I'm jumping up and down, I'm crying, I'm excited. I think patriotism first, and I think give me an underdog story that totally knocks me off my feet. I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting that. I'm putting these together on the second place line. I'm putting underdog / surprise. I'm making them the same, equal or synonyms, but what else would you put up there?
Well, in this case, I don't think New England is a classic underdog, even though they went 4-13 the past 2 seasons. But that's a blip.
Aren't they the 80-1 though? Aren't they the biggest underdog in the history of the Super Bowl by preseason odds?
Yes, because they were coming off a 4-13 season, but they just got done with a dynasty. They just got done with Belichick, Brady. When we talk about the Patriots of all teams being on the cusp of perhaps another dynasty, everybody outside of Boston is going, oh, God, not this again. But if they pull this upset and Drake May leads it, coming out of this Super Bowl, Drake May, at age 23, is going to be seen as an elite quarterback, coupled with Mike Vrabel leading a new dynasty 2.0 in New England.
This Super Bowl has to drive like passionate fans of certain teams insane. Yeah. Insane to see both these franchises up there. You know, the Seahawks, in terms of the NFC and playoff and Super Bowl appearances, they've made it the most. They're tied for the most out of any franchise in the last 25 years. They went there with Hasselbeck.
4, right?
They went to 2 with Russell Wilson, and here they are with like a whole new core yet again. 4th Super Bowl in the last 25 years. That's really impressive and hard to do. Patriots just tore down the greatest pro football dynasty of our lives and are back a couple of years later.
And was this like 11 for this century for them?
It's Chris Collinsworth, I think, is called 6 Super Bowls. 5 of them are Patriots Super Bowls. It's nuts. I'd be like, if I'm a Dolphin fan, if I'm a Jet fan, I'm pulling my hair out.
It's not good.
I think another thing, too, that people will tune in to chase is chase for perfection, right? Like, that's another thing that's a bit of a novelty where it's like, all right, you're not the underdog, but you're the 2007 Patriots, and people are going to watch just to see if something that they've never seen before happened. UCLA from the early 70s that went undefeated. Like, all these teams have this lore behind them, and you're like, all right, if they can do that, obviously we don't have that in the Super Bowl, but that, to me, is another thing that I'll go watch.
Well, that's also part of this, right? So not only are you used to seeing these uniforms there, but you have 2 preseason underdogs, not a preseason underdog against a juggernaut. If the Seahawks or the Patriots, obviously same conference as the Chiefs, but if you had the Chiefs there yet again, the great dynasty, and then one of these teams that wasn't supposed to be there, you could create that drama. But you have 2 teams that nobody considered. So no matter what, it's, oh, cool story. One of the teams won that wasn't supposed to win, and yet you're also so used to seeing these uniforms in the Super Bowl that you don't even feel like they're underdogs.
You can't be both, Seahawks. You can't be underdogs and you're there every other year.
Well, despite the preseason odds, I don't think you should consider Seattle or New England a classic underdog. Now, if it's Jacksonville, if they had made the Super Bowl, if Houston had made the Super Bowl.
What you guys are doing, like, I get what you're doing organizationally, but, okay, also in this conversation, I'd put it right up there with history if I'm saying top 5 things that people loved about sports or love consistently about sports that'll make them get attached to something. Because Stars is not in my top 5, although I think Stars helps a Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl because people like stars.
Gambling.
Well, yes, of course.
Taylor Swift.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Fame and gambling. Yes. But I'm just doing generic things that would apply to everybody in the history of sports. And up in my top 5 would be nobody believed in us. If I've got a regional identity that I've tied up in my team, Patriot fans, for all you think of, man, they've been hogging the championships. They're going to be able to yell this year, nobody believed in us, the way they haven't since they played the greatest show on turf with Tom Brady in his first year. And Sam Darnold, nobody believes in us. Nobody believes in me. Like, usually these are the ingredients you need, is what I'm telling you. And I feel like people are saying, nah, stars. Give me stars. Like, it's got all the other ingredients, and they're like, nah. And Smith-Njigba is better than everybody at what he does, right, but not a star. He's great at football, but if he, like, do you think people would recognize him in a grocery store outside of Seattle?
Jackson SN.
Which is why you need the biggest star on the planet to bring the eyes. Bad Benny.
I thought Chris was going to play that for you there. I was going to say Bad Benny in front of you instead, and you guys are just using gratuitous shots of Bad Benny, putting him up on the screen because you just want to game the algorithm to try and get anything going around the fame of Bad Benny, who is the biggest star at the Super Bowl.
Bad Benny.
He'd also be the biggest star if anybody in sports other than LeBron James was playing in this Super Bowl.
Bad Benny
might still be bigger.
Put it on a poll.
Messi?
Put it on the poll
Messi,
at Le Batard
Messi.
Show. Who's a bigger star, Bad Benny or LeBron? Put it on the poll as well. Who's a bigger star, Bad Benny or Lionel Messi?
If you had to bet, where does this rating peak? I'm in on halftime.
Bad Benny.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
if the game is close
that's
late.
quite the qualifier, though. Like, yeah, if we have a 1-score game with 3 minutes left, that always reflects in the ratings, always. But if we're anticipating, a home game, this number peaks.
I was saying, right? There are a couple of things that have been really interesting to me about the evolution of football. I was telling you about the Woolen call in the Seattle game that the referee made, how stunned I was that everyone yelled at Woolen and no one yelled at the referee, that we've changed and whitewashed the entirety of what it used to be. Guys woof, guys trash talk. It's a normal thing. You don't penalize somebody in that situation for that call. It seems like a million years ago that Super Bowls were just always terrible. I expect this game to be close late. Why? Because football. Because football lately, everyone's close late. I don't even know how it's going to happen because I think Seattle's better. But something's going to happen with Sam Darnold, and something's going to make that game close. And I just used to always think, as recently as, I don't know, fewer than 10 years ago, the Super Bowl's going to be bad. The game's not going to be close.
Right. I covered about 15 or 20 Super Bowls in a row. It seems like I covered a lot of 38-10s. You know, when Buffalo was losing big.
Denver was always getting blown out.
Yeah, I mean, there were some really lopsided Super Bowls. But you're right, the league itself is now so parity-soaked that every game's close in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we had a pretty good 3-year run. When you look back on it, might be the best run with the 2 Chiefs Eagles, Chiefs Niners, Rams Bengals. Like, that's a pretty solid run.